Hi, I'm Mariam. I'm Aisha.
I'm Eliza.
I'm Ava.
I'm Grace.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Elyssa, and you're watching
APUSH Ruins Disney Movies.
So Disney has been making films since 1938, and this all started with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Disney sometimes hides Easter eggs and outside references in its movies.
Disney movies aren't always what they seem. There are many underlying secrets and connectedness to your favorite childhood movies.
So our first conspiracy theory is that Rapunzel is the cousin of Anna and Elsa. So in the movie Frozen, Rapunzel and Eugene are seen walking towards the castle on the day of Elsa's coronation during Anna's performance for the first time in forever. So all three of the princesses were isolated from the outside world from a very young age. And a theory that kind of goes hand in hand with the overall theory is that Elsa and Anna's parents were on their way to Rapunzel and Eugene's wedding when they got caught in the storm that sank their ship. So this matches up because the main plot of Frozen begins 3 years after Elsa and Anna's parents tragically die at sea, and Tangled was released 3 years prior to Frozen, and Tangled ends with Rapunzel and Eugene's wedding. Also, it's a common belief that Rapunzel's mother and Elsa's father are brother and sister, and both Rapunzel and Elsa are blonde, so this could mean that in the family, blondes might be more susceptible to developing powers, and this could explain why Elsa's father knew what to do when he discovered Elsa's ice abilities and why he isolated her from the public, since his supposed niece Rapunzel was kidnapped because of her abilities. And then I have a picture of Rapunzel and Eugene's cameo in Frozen, and then a side-by-side look at Rapunzel's mother versus Elsa and Anna's father.
The next theory that we have is that Jane from Tarzan is related to Belle from Beauty and the Beast. The teapot and teacup shown in Beauty and the Beast are also present at Jane's camp during Tarzan. Both of these two women have the same goal of bettering the men in their life. For Belle, this is the Beast, but for Jane, this is Tarzan. Their fathers in both movies are portrayed as crazy, and they also had similar facial features. And, on top of this, they both love the color yellow. On the left, you can see that there is a tea set from Beauty and the Beast at Jane's camp, and on the right, you can see Jane's love for the color of yellow.
So the next conspiracy theory we have is Jesse's owner was Andy's mom. As many know, Toy Story is a love story of a boy and his toys. But there are some secrets to this story. One major secret is the toy Jessie actually belonged to Andy's mom, before Andy. In one scene, you can see that the hats are very similar to Jessie's hat, but more worn out and missing the top white lace ribbon. Jessie says she's afraid of being in closed spaces for long amounts of time. This could be because when Andy's mom outgrew Jessie, she put her in a storage for many years. Andy's mom has also mentioned that Woody is a family toy. This could possibly mean that this could have been Andy's dad's childhood toy.
The next theory we're going to look at is that Chip from Beauty and the Beast is Prince Adam, or as he is more frequently known, Beast's son. In Beauty and the Beast, there is a large cast of characters, all cursed to have to stay in the castle, transformed to be a variety of household objects. The teacup, Chip, is supposedly the teapot's son. This does not completely line up, however, as the age gap between Chip and Mrs. Potts is greater than seems believable. Chip also has many noticeable physical similarities with Prince Adam. As you can see in this picture I have on top here, they both have blonde hair and blue eyes. Earlier versions of the story have even given the Enchantress a more pivotal role, which has caused some fans to take this theory a step further and guess that the Enchantress is even Chip's mother.
So this next theory is how the Holocaust is related to Toy Story 3. In the beginning of the film, Andy is 17 and is ready to leave for college. These toys are left behind, and Woody holds a meeting with the toys where he discusses what they should do. Change a few words from the scene, and it sounds the exact same scene at the train station in the Holocaust drama The Pianist. Buzz Lightyear also suggests staying in the attic. Who stayed in the attic during the Holocaust? And Frank did. And also, when the toys arrived at Sunnyside Daycare, the other toys that were there treated Buzz and his friends like best friends until they were put in the caterpillar room. The caterpillar room was where the toddlers would be, and when Buzz and his friends were put in there, they were tortured. The caterpillar room can be seen as the concentration camps at the time because people were tortured there just like the toys were in the room. The butterfly room was where the better toys would stay, and these toys were unaffected by the toddlers in the caterpillar room.
The next theory we're going to be discussing is that Boo is the witch from Brave. So I'm going to go through the story first and then the evidence. The theoretical story is that Sully was Boo's best friend. She was depressed when Sully used the portal doors and left. Boo learned how to use these doors and traveled to the human world trying to find Sully. She used the Will-o'-the-Wisps to get magic powers to look for him, and the Will-o'-the-Wisps are the blue magical things in the movie Brave. She ended up in the 14th or 15th century, which is when Brave occurred, and turned out to be the witch who gave Merida a potion to turn her mom back into a person. So there is some evidence that proves this. One of those pieces of evidence is that in the witch's cabin, there's a log with Sully carved into it. Another piece of evidence is that in Monsters University, the door number is A113, and that is also the number above the witch's cabin door in Roman numerals in the movie Brave. Lastly, you can see that the witch has traveled to the future because she's made a wooden car that appears years later in Toy Story.
Because Boo is from Monsters, Inc., and Monsters, Inc. is set in the future, this supports the idea that Boo traveled back in time from the future and therefore had knowledge from the future and then became part of the 14th or 15th century. The last theory we're going to be sharing is that Tarzan is actually Anna and Elsa's younger brother. Both Frozen and Tarzan were directed by somebody named Chris Buck. Frozen was produced and released in 2013 and Tarzan in 1999. Buck told his co-director, Jen Lee, "Of course Anna and Elsa's parents didn't die. Yes, there was a shipwreck, but they were at sea a little bit longer than we think they were because the mother was pregnant and she gave birth on the boat to a little boy. They get shipwrecked and somehow they really washed far away from the Scandinavian waters, and they end up in the jungle. They end up building a treehouse and a leopard kills them, so their baby boy is raised by gorillas." And this really goes to show that the theory that Tarzan's parents and Anna and Elsa's parents are the same people is actually quite possible.
Here's our work cited.
Thank you for watching!